Hello everybody, SlimKirby here. Welcome back to more of the Stunt Race FX playthrough. Hope you guys are ready for some more crazy car action, because we're going to continue on with the second class of the Speed Trax mode. So as far as vehicles we're going to be using for this course, or for this class, I think I'm actually going to go for the F-Type. Don't be surprised if I don't use the Coupe at all during this playthrough. The Coupe, I've just kind of realized, is just not really that great of a vehicle. Even though it is, like, average, it doesn't really excel in anything. While the 4WD, like, you know, it's got strong, you know, good control, and, you know, it's a good beginning vehicle. And these vehicles, like, are more speed-oriented, and you obviously want to have those for some of the toughest courses, just so you don't have to worry about the time constraints. The Coupe just kind of feels too slow to really be able to be of use in these next two difficulties, so probably not going to be using it much, if at all. So just warning you guys about that now. So for this one, I'm going to probably use the F-Type, so let's go ahead and get this started here. So we're going to be moving on to the Expert class. In this class we have King's Forest, Sea Breeze, White Land, and Night Cruise. This is where, like I said in the last video, the time constraints start really kind of piling up on you. You really have to be kind of careful with this, because I feel like they just don't really give you a lot of time for this track. You start with 50 seconds, and the checkpoint for this first race is actually pretty far in. And they have a lot of places where kind of going off the track is really easy to do, like right here. So you just have to be like very careful and very precise with how you race here. Definitely use your boost here on this long straightaway, just so you can kind of get the most out of you know, the speed you're using. And see, going off the track here was not great. I'm probably gonna reach this checkpoint with 10 seconds left. Exactly 10, I was right. But yeah, as you can see, like, as of right now, the biggest problem with the F-Type, even though I think it is probably one of the better vehicles of the game, it's very fast, almost too fast. So, like, it's very easy to crash into walls, and because it's weak, yeah, that's obviously not good, because you might destroy your car, and obviously you don't want that to happen. So you just got to be very, very careful. And see, like, I'm actually kind of worried right now about making to the checkpoint, because I have only 20 seconds left, but I still have like 2 turns to make. So, and yep, here we go. My car deconstructed itself. Now you can actually get kind of lucky when that happens. If there's a car behind you, they may like push you forward, so you don't lose as much time. But still, okay. And yeah, you can actually pass a checkpoint, like if you have 0 seconds left, as long as you, like, as your car is slowing down, if you still pass the finish line or checkpoint, you'll still get the time, obviously. But yeah, like, as you can see, like, I'm gonna need to race this pretty much perfectly if I want to get to the checkpoint, and I'm getting pretty high in damage. I'm gonna have to be very, very careful here. I also just haven't been getting any boosts either, which is not great. So I'm gonna slow down. Well, I tried to slow down a bit. And the guy behind me crashes into me. How divine. Okay, well, let's try that again, but be a little more careful, because obviously I was kind of not really racing that optimally. I don't know what it is, but like sometimes if you're going too fast, it's hard to make turns. And I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense. But yeah, like turns like these can sometimes be a little difficult, I guess. Like right here, I'm going to try to actually slow down a bit. I actually got the boost too, which was nice. Yeah, I'm tempted to say that was already a better first lap than the previous first lap, so that's good. What the hell? Not really sure what happened there. Like, I just kind of stopped, but I was definitely holding the accelerate button. So that was strange. Yeah, I'll go ahead and leave that bad attempt in there because it shows off a crash, which I know is a weird thing to say. It's like, oh, hey, it shows me losing, but like, you know, just to make sure I'm not like, you know, showing a false illusion of, oh, hey, I'm just excellent at this game all the time. Not that I think people really even care about that kind of stuff, but it's authentic, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at there. This is an authentic Stunt Race FX playthrough. And see, it doesn't help that I'm not picking up the boosts, which could definitely save me some time, like on this big straightaway here. I should be able to at least finish this course, though, so that's good. Keyword should, though. It's not over yet. I also kind of like the general aesthetic of this course, how there's like a fog that, you know, you start the race with a giant fog, and then as you go through the track, the fog actually dissipates, and, you know, it gives it a neat little effect, I guess. Okay, well, we went ahead and finished this, so hooray for that, and I think I'm just a little short. Oh no, I'm actually doing better than my best attempt. Interesting. Okay, the next track we have is Sea Breeze. This track is kind of scary. I'm going to go ahead and say it now. This track can be kind of scary because, much like the second track in the game, we have to worry about those yellow ramps. And I don't know what it is about those yellow ramps. Obviously, it didn't really come into play that much because we didn't see too much of it in the first track we did with these. But I swear, sometimes these yellow ramps can be very magnetic. Where sometimes, even if you're just like racing straight forward, for some reason your vehicle just kind of gets dragged to the side. I think it's just due to the way like the platform is sloped, like that's why it does that, but like the magnetization is real. Like it seriously feels like it's a thing. I know Odinspec, who I've talked about, you know, being familiar with this game with me, we both kind of had that same feeling during these sections. It's just like your car just feels like it wants to go to the sides, and obviously you don't want that because, again, if you fall off these ramps here, you will lose a life. Case and point. For that one, I blame the vehicle that was next to me. Like, I blame the 4WD for pushing me off there. But yeah, like that's what can happen on this track. That's what can happen. Is if you just fall off a ramp, you don't get like reconstructed and you don't take damage, it's a game over. Or not really a game over. It's a game over if it's your last life, but like, see, I'm not trying to stay to the right here, but for some reason, like, the game was like, no, stay here. Stay dangerous for some reason. It's, yeah, very, very unnerving, I'll say that much. Oh my god. And it's really bad when you, like, go up a jump and you kind of bounce, you kind of lose control, and in a section like this, like, obviously, that's not something you want to happen. Don't knock me off this time, 4WD. Okay, for those who actually know cars better than I do, what is 4WD, like, four-wheel drive or something? Is that what that's supposed to stand for? Because, like, I always called it, like, as a kid, like, a four-wood, but, like, that's because I played a lot of golf games, and, like, I saw 4WD used for that, so obviously, like, that made sense, because that's a usual abbreviation for that, but I feel like it's supposed to be four-wheel drive. But, again, I'm not really a car expert or anything. Just kind of hoping to get that damage restoration thing there, but... Whoops. I guess not. I'll go ahead and say it right now. I'm not exactly happy that I'm down 2 lives already. I'm also pretty low on time too. I didn't even realize that. I think I should be able to make it to the end just fine. And as we know, we do have a bonus track after this, so we can, you know, build up some time and some lives there. Still, again, kind of unnerving though. Ah, there we go. Second track done. And yeah, see, we're behind again, so that's unfortunate. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this next bonus track here. And see, it's actually good that in a sense, it's good that I actually splashed and crashed in this video. So now you guys, I can at least say that I've done both of those, and have both of those on camera, I guess. So yeah, once again, I have this little mini game here. Go through all the gates. You get 1 second per gate you go through. Every time you make a full lap around the course, you get an extra life. And again, it's kind of cool, because if you're skilled, and I mean really skilled, like you don't have to go like the outer path like I'm going. But you know, if you're skilled, you can definitely use like kind of the inner paths to make more laps so you can get like extra cars. You don't have to necessarily just worry about time. I feel like time I'm a little more concerned with, because the end of this class can actually be kind of brutal. So 16 seconds and 1 extra car I think is okay. Okay, here's what I consider probably the first wall for this particular project. We have Whiteland. Whiteland is a snow course, as you can see, and it's weird. Like, I never really thought there were like actual ice physics in this game, but with this course, I am definitely very convinced that there are, because this track is really rough. This track is really hard to race on. I would not recommend using the brake that much. Like, I'd recommend like trying to kind of slow down and like almost in a sense stop, as opposed to like braking really heavily. Because if you try to brake in this course, it's so easy to get turned around completely. And obviously, if that happens, like that'll slow you down, I think, a little more than just racing normally. But yeah, I swear, like, this track is definitely difficult. Probably one of the more difficult tracks of the game. Which is weird, because it's only in the 2nd difficulty. It's not even in the last difficulty. And yet there are tracks in the last difficulty I'd rather race on than on this one, so... Yeah, it's interesting how that works out. I guess another thing I'll highlight, since I've not really talked about it, is as far as like your computer opponents go for this game, whenever you use the original 3 racers, so the 4WD, the F-Type, and the Coupe, like obviously the other 2 cars you didn't choose will be your computer opponents, but the 4th opponent will actually be a green recolor of whatever car you're using. But yet, if you use the motorcycle, like, you'll just have the 3 other opponents as your opponents. Like, you won't have a recolor. So again, it's kind of interesting how the motorcycle isn't, you know, it isn't a computer opponent for some reason. Maybe the game developers were like, well, this is definitely the best vehicle. We want to give, yeah, obviously want to give players a chance to win. So maybe that's what they were kind of thinking. But yeah, that's basically how it decides the computer players, I guess. And it is interesting because the motorbike is green, so they could have easily just used that instead. And it wouldn't be out of place. Honestly, I feel like this is the best I've ever raced this course. Which is weird because, again, it's so difficult. One thing I'm worried about, though, is, well, actually, I'm not really worried anymore, I guess, but you definitely want to make sure you have some time when you leave this track. Because the last track, even though I wouldn't say it's really that hard, it's very strict with time. So you want to make sure you have enough time to complete that one. I will take a second or third here, no problem. And I think 11 seconds should be enough time, because I barely completed the next track with 2 seconds being gifted over from the previous track, so 11 should be okay. It'll be a little tight, but definitely doable. Okay, the last track we have is Night Cruise. Like I said, this track can be it can be pretty strict on time. You can't really afford too many mistakes on this one. So just try to be calm, cool, and collected. Try not to get too crazy with your turns. Just try to do your best to optimize this track as best you can. It's interesting because a lot of the turns in this track are very like square-like. Like you have a turn and then you have like another turn immediately, kind of going back the way you came. So you kind of have to, you know, almost stop a little bit whenever you make a turn and just kind of get prepared for the next one. Seems like the first half of this lap is going pretty well, though. In fact, it looks like I'm actually going to even gain some time here, which is good. No complaints from me. Whoa, what the hell happened there? So I actually ended up not, that entire lap I ended up not really losing or gaining anything. But that's okay. I'm going to stay on this side because of this. Okay, I only lost 1 second during that lap, so I should be fine. As long as I don't do anything stupid like this. Oh boy. I don't know about this, guys. Oh, cool, an R-Wing. So yeah, that was the R-Wing from Star Fox. That can actually happen on a few tracks. It's more rare here. than the other track that can happen on. So I'm actually kind of happy we saw that. Okay, I should be able to finish this in 20 seconds though, so we should be okay. Last second victory. Man, that was close. So I don't know if this is going to actually beat my record or anything, but hey, I made it. I made it through the gauntlet that is the expert class, but we still have the master class, guys. So it's not over by any means. Yeah, that was actually quite a bit slower than my last 2 attempts. I guess I just didn't really have a good night cruise. I think night cruise was definitely a bit worse than my other levels, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you guys next weekend when we take on the master class for Speed Trax, and then we also take a look at Stunt Trax as well. Thank you for watching. See you guys next time. Later, folks.